Sales email layouts, techniques that get replies. Layout is the hidden reason your cold emails get ignored. If your cold emails are getting crickets, you usually don't have a sending problem, you have a layout problem. Most teams obsess over targeting and copy, then ship emails that look like mini pitch decks. In a crowded inbox, the structure of your message often determines whether you get a reply or a delete. Buyers aren't sitting down to read your email line by line. They skim, looking for immediate relevance, a credible promise, and an obvious next step. When your layout hides those elements, even great messaging won't land because the prospect never processes it. This is why we treat sales email layout like a repeatable system, not an aesthetic choice. Whether you run outbound in-house or through a B2B sales agency, your layouts should make it easy for prospects to understand why you, why now, and what to do next in a few seconds. Why layout matters more than copy in the first 9 seconds. The average time spent looking at a single email is about 9 seconds, down from 13.4 seconds a few years earlier. That means your email has to communicate relevance and value almost instantly, and layout is what makes that possible. If your first screen is a long paragraph or an intro about us, your best point never gets seen. Reply benchmarks reinforce the urgency. Average B2B cold campaigns hover around a 5.1% reply rate, while top performers can reach 12 to 15% plus with strong targeting, messaging, and structure. If your replies sit under 5%, the fastest lever is often simplifying what prospects see and where they see it. Layout makes the scan path effortless. Mobile raises the bar even further. Roughly 55% of emails are opened on mobile, and 40 to 50% of people delete messages that aren't mobile optimized. A single column, short, scannable email isn't a nice-to-have for an outbound sales agency or an SDR team. It's table stakes. A practical wireframe. Subject, opening, body, ask. Think of every outbound email as a simple wireframe. Subject line and preview text earn the open. The first 2 lines earn the scroll, the body proves credibility, and the CTA earns the reply. If any one of those elements is buried or bloated, the whole email underperforms. Great cold email agency performance is rarely about clever wording. It's about making the message impossible to miss. At the top, personalization pays when it's meaningful. Personalized subject lines are about 26% more likely to be opened, and personalized cold emails can be 2.7 times more likely to be opened than generic blasts. The layout implication is simple. Put the personalization where it's visible immediately. Subject, preview, and the first line. Then keep the rest clean and easy to scan. That's why we generally design for the 50 to 125 word range. 1 to 2 short mobile screens with one idea per paragraph and plenty of white space. If your email needs 3 scrolls to reach the ask, you've already lost the scan. Your structure should carry the reader straight from relevance to proof to a single next step. Make the CTA a standalone line and keep the signature light. Your call to action is not the ending, it's the point of the email. Cold emails with a clear CTA can see up to a 42% higher response rate, which makes CTA placement and formatting just as important as what you're selling. If you hide the ask inside a paragraph, the prospect's skim never turns into a reply. The layout rule we rely on is one email, one primary CTA, presented on its own line near the bottom. Avoid stacking choices like book time, check the deck, and reply with feedback, because decision fatigue kills action and makes you look like marketing automation. Keep the first touch low friction, a quick question or a short intro call, and reserve links for later touches when you've earned more attention. Your signature should reinforce that you're a real person, not a newsletter. Use a simple name, title, company, and one credibility line. Skip banners, oversized logos, and multiple social icons that distract from the CTA. In sales outsourcing and outsourced sales team environments, a clean signature also makes templates easier to standardize across reps without deliverability or formatting surprises. In a 9-second inbox scan, layout is your strategy. Copy is just the fuel. Use a small set of repeatable layouts for first touches and follow-ups. Instead of reinventing every email, standardize 3 to 4 layouts and then test hooks, proof points, and personalization inside those frameworks. A strong first touch layout typically looks like 1 personalized line, 1 problem bridge, 1 credibility line, and 1 standalone CTA. When every rep follows the same structure, you can diagnose what's working, targeting, offer, CTA, without layout noise muddying the results. Follow-ups deserve just as much design as your first email. Follow-up messages can lift reply rates by 28 to 65%, and many campaigns see over half of responses come after the first touch. So just bumping this is wasted inventory. A better approach is to give each follow-up a distinct minimal layout. 1 new proof point, 1 question, or 1 short case outcome, always ending with a single clear ask. We also recommend making follow-ups even easier to skim than the opener. Shorten the context, reference the prior note in 1 line, add 1 new insight, and keep the CTA consistent. This is the difference between a sequence that feels like helpful persistence and one that trains prospects to ignore you. Common layout mistakes that quietly kill reply rates. The most common mistake is sending long, dense emails that read like pitch decks. If prospects are only giving you about 9 seconds, multi-paragraph blocks get skipped and your CTA never becomes visible. The fix is structural. 2-sentence paragraphs, tight wording, and an email that fits in 1 to 2 mobile screens. The second mistake is cramming multiple CTAs and links into a single message. When you ask for a meeting, a referral, and a click in the same email, you create friction and look like a blast from a sales agency. Choose 1 primary action per email and remove everything else that competes with it, especially on the first touch. The third mistake is ignoring mobile constraints, even though about 55% of opens happen on phones. If your layout relies on long lines, heavy formatting, or too much above-the-fold context, you're forcing extra scrolling and losing the scan. Every SDR agency and outbound sales agency should test templates on an actual phone before rolling them out. How to operationalize layouts across your SDR team or partner. To scale replies, treat layout as a process asset, not an individual skill. Document a small library of approved layouts with clear rules. Target 50 to 125 words, 1 primary CTA on its own line, and personalization in the subject, preview, and first sentence. This is especially important when you hire SDRs quickly or run an outsourced SDR program, because it keeps output consistent while onboarding stays fast. Once layouts are standardized, run controlled tests where only 1 element changes at a time. Test subject length, the first line structure, and CTA phrasing, while keeping the layout fixed so your results are interpretable. Track reply rate, positive reply rate, and meeting rate by template, not just by rep, so you can scale what works across the whole sales development agency motion. Finally, align email layouts with the rest of your outbound engine. When email and LinkedIn outreach services use the same hook, proof, ask structure, your sequence feels coherent instead of random. And if you pair email with cold calling services or B2B cold calling services, the layout becomes the script foundation, short, relevant, and built to prompt a simple next step. Next steps: measure, iterate, and build a reply-first outbound system. Your goal isn't to write prettier emails, it's to build a repeatable system that consistently beats the baseline. If the average cold program sits around a 5.1% reply rate, your first milestone is getting reliably above that by tightening structure, clarity, and CTA focus. Once you're stable, you can push toward top-tier performance by refining targeting, proof, and personalization. From there, keep improvements practical. Shorten templates, front-load relevance, and make the ask unmistakable. When you change something, keep the layout constant so you know whether the lift came from the subject, the hook, or the offer. This is how high-performing teams turn "we sent more emails" into "we created more pipeline." If you'd rather not rebuild layouts and outbound operations from scratch, this is exactly the work we do at SalesHive. Since 2016, we've booked 100,000 plus meetings for 1,500 plus B2B clients by combining proven email layouts with disciplined execution across channels, including phone when it makes sense. If you're evaluating a cold email agency, an SDR agency, or broader sales outsourcing, we recommend asking one simple question. Do they have standardized, testable layouts, or are they still improvising email by email?